Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Gumballs. Today on the show we have Tyler Nyland. Tyler, welcome to the show.
Hello.
How's it feel to be on the podcast?
A little nervous, but I'm very excited to be here.
You know, here's the thing. Most guests, the first 5 minutes, they get pretty nervous, but after that, it's smooth sailing. It's a nice, good conversation.
Yeah, I can feel this little fight or flight feeling in my heart, before you go up in front of the class and introduce yourself and everything like that.
You know, speaking of introducing yourself, when people ask you, so let's say we're in a class right now. Tyler, tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself. What do you say?
Well, I actually did this tonight in my night class.
This is fresh then.
And he asked us to share, our name, our major, and one thing that we've done that's bigger than ourselves. And so, normally I would say, my name's Tyler Nyland, and my major's entrepreneurship, and then I would say something about, my pottery business, because it's, my wife and I's baby, basically. It's everything. And tonight, I specifically had a feeling to just share that I served an LDS mission in Spain. And when you go to UVU, there's tons of return LDS missionaries that, have served missions and stuff, so I kind of shy away from that, but tonight I specifically felt, that's kind of a big deal. Dedicating a couple years of your life to specific, areas in another foreign country. And so I shared that. Served a mission in Spain. South part of Spain.
Are you a Barcelona fan or Madrid?
Barcelona.
Messi.
Yeah, and I remember when I chose that day, because when you arrive to Spain and you start getting in people's homes and meeting them, that's the first thing they ask you. It's, what team are you, Barcelona or Madrid?
Yeah.
And so I liked Barcelona just because of Messi and the colors. But besides that, I hope to guess in the beginning what their favorite team was. It just didn't work out very well. 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
How did you like Spain?
Loved it. Loved every single minute of it. I think I miss the bread the most. I love carbs and stuff. So the bread is awesome, but the people are pretty cool too.
Dude, I'm the same. I'm like Oprah. I love bread. I love bread. Bread is the best. I think it's the best food out there.
So I told you, I don't normally eat breakfast. I usually skip it. And not on purpose or anything, but it's just something anyways. But I ate toast. If I eat breakfast, it's usually a couple pieces of toast. I can handle that.
That's from my mission in Chile, and the bread there is very good too. They put lard in their bread, so everybody eats the bread, gets pretty fat. It's just full of flour.
That sounds fat.
Flour and lard. It's pretty bad for you, but it was really good.
All the good things in life are bad for you usually.
So you said that your wife's baby right now is your business, your pottery business.
Yeah, it takes a lot of our time.
So tell us about that. What is your pottery business?
Pottery business, the easiest way I can explain it to everyone that asks is, it's kind of like Color Me Mine. Color Me Mine is a well-known pottery business where you can, take a date or go with your family, paint a piece of pottery, whatever colors you want, and then they fire it for you so you can use it at home. Well, our business is a little bit different in that you actually get to make the piece of pottery, and then we paint it for you. So before you leave, you pick what color you want on it, and then we paint it for you so you can use it at home as well.
What inspired you to create? What's your business called again?
The Kreative Kiln.
The Kreative Kiln.
Yep.
Check them out, guys. Shout out to them, because my wife and I went a couple days ago, and we had an enjoyable, great experience. It was pretty cool. Really cool experience. For me personally, it felt kind of therapeutic to I personally felt like I was in a state of flow, and I feel like I'm not really a big creative person. and I'm not really good at drawing, art, whatever that stuff, or to tell the truth, not really good at pottery.
you did pretty good. You held your own.
Made a pretty sweet mug.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
But for me personally, it felt really like therapeutic. It felt really relaxing to kind of put my hands into a piece of work and mold something that I can use later on. So, shout out to you guys at business. I think it's awesome. It's a really good idea, and it seems like it's growing pretty quickly.
It has been growing quickly. Like last month was insane, and you know the holidays are always crazy, but yeah, it's the Kreative Kiln, but creative is spelled with a K. Just
That's
so
pretty
you know,
creative.
because it's got to be creative,
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
And that's, you asked about like how I came up with the idea,
Yeah.
why. That is exactly why. Like I wanted a place where someone could go and be creative, even when they say, you know, I think I remember you saying like, well, I'm like the least creative person or something like that. And I hear that quite a bit, but as soon as someone gets on the wheel, it can be a very therapeutic like moment, or I guess long moment, like over an hour
Yeah.
for them. And basically that's why I started the whole thing, because that's what happened to me in high school, my senior year, when I was introduced into ceramics, like on the wheel, throwing clay.
So you started in high school doing pottery.
Yeah, my senior year at Pleasant Grove High School, they got pottery wheels. I never tried it, never heard of it. I always wanted or had this desire in the back of my mind to be an artist, because I just thought, you know, they're just different, you know, like rather than being a doctor, a lawyer, or something simple, but at the same time it's so universal. Everybody's an artist in something.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, drawing and everything like that never was my thing. Very good at stick figures, actually probably terrible, you know. Yeah, but pottery, it really stuck, and because of how therapeutic it was.
So when you're on the wheel, what are you thinking about? Are you in the zone? Like what's going through your mind?
And that's the funny thing is, I have so much going around in my brain every day. It feels like just this storm that's never stops, and there's always something that I forget, and then all of a sudden it comes to my mind and things like that. When I get on the pottery wheel, I sit down and everything goes away, and it's almost like I can breathe again. You know that feeling when you sit down and
relax.
you can just, kind of like right now I'm kind of feeling that, like where I don't have to think. It's almost like, I mean, I'm not always thinking math every day, and, you know, but it feels like my schedule and things going on in my life, my marriage and family, and it's almost like math to me, whereas like ceramics or this, you just sit down and you just can relax. Yeah, so everything is gone around me. It's just one thing at one time.
Is pottery the only thing in your life that kind of makes you feel that way?
No. There's a few other things. One of the other things is motocross.
Oh really? That's pretty cool.
Isn't that funny? Like
That's
how intense, and I'm an adrenaline junkie. Love feeling that I felt, you know, when we were starting the podcast. A little nervous, like
that rush.
I like a little scare in me.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I do get into a state of flow, is I think what people call it, when everything just kind of goes away and you're focusing on one thing. And if I'm not on the pottery wheel, and of course not, you know, spending time with my wife, like quality present time, which is harder than you think, to just be present with, whether it's your wife or family or a random stranger. I feel like that's pretty hard to do sometimes in this fast-paced world. But anyways, not on the pottery wheel. I like to be flying through the air on my dirt bike, feeling weightless, and
Like the two extremes.
Some people, exactly. That's the funny. People would always meet. Like if I would meet people, in high school, you meet new friends and groups and stuff like that. I'd be like, so what do you do? Normally you just say like football or baseball or something like that. I would, I would tell people, well, I like to race motocross and I do pottery. They would just, look at me funny like, wait a minute, you race motocross but you also do pottery? Like, isn't that a girl thing or something like that? Like, that doesn't add up, but yeah, that's...
You ever gotten injured doing motocross?
Yes.
Pretty bad?
Yeah, not like life or death situation, but I actually broke my foot. I've had a few injuries actually, but the main one that affects me to this day actually, is I broke my right foot at my friend Parker's motocross track in Spanish Fork, and I had to get 5 screws in my foot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you guys know what the calcaneus is, but it's not a good bone to break. And, my doctor did say, you broke the calcaneus, which is the worst bone to break in your foot. So I'm like, oh, great. But he's like, but you broke it in the right way. And I'm like, enlighten me. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
So, basically, if you break your calcaneus, that's your bone that supports like almost your whole body weight, basically. When you're standing, running, everything like that. And the way I broke it was like horizontal. It's the bone that's it's your heel bone basically. And goes into your foot. And I broke it horizontally, which I guess was more like vertical, straight. And
straight across the...
Yes,
okay.
Straight across the bottom. Anyways, so I had to get a couple screws to go in on the sides of my feet. Oh my gosh,
dude.
So, still, I don't really know exactly what he meant when he said he broke it in the right way, because it still hurts pretty bad oftentimes, but it doesn't stop me from getting on the dirt bike.
How'd you get that accident? The bike went on your foot or something, or how'd that happen?
Yeah, so... What's so dumb is like, I jump pretty big jumps. Like, some of the biggest jumps I've jumped are in between 80 and 110 feet.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Dude, that is
I have a
nuts.
video of me jumping one of the finish line jumps at Tooele, and I believe it's about 80 feet as far as like the finish line jump. So I could show you that, but this jump was so stupid. It was so small, but the thing is that it was kind of on a corner, so you're turning a corner, you hit a couple speed bumps, I guess you could call them, and then you hit the jump and it goes right into a 180 turn. So it can be a little bit dangerous, and it's only even more dangerous when you and your friend run out of dirt to build jumps with, so the gaps get bigger and the landings get shorter. Which adds a whole other obstacle to it. So basically, of course, I was riding my dad's dirt bike. Don't ever take your parents' stuff if you don't plan on, consciously plan on replacing things. And
oh, man.
Yeah, so I was on his dirt bike, and I was going around the corner, and I was in like 2nd or 3rd gear, which is, fast enough to where you can hit a jump without holding the gas down or the throttle, and I got nervous that I wasn't gonna make it, and my bike bogged out, so I couldn't grab any more power or acceleration, and so I decided I'm just gonna float off this thing and just take the brunt of it and just case it, because I thought that was the best thing to do in that moment. Well, I was leaning to the right, because like I said, the jump was on a corner, and as I flew through the air, it was only like 20 feet, I hit the landing, and the thing, since, we ran out of dirt, like the landing was a wall, and then you land on the other side. It's nice and soft. I just hit that wall on the right side, and my whole right foot took the impact and just... I remember hearing it, and then I did make it over the landing and just I extended my right foot and heard another pop, and so I think I may have broken more than I should have, but I went into the corner and yeah, basically my friend Parker just came running over like, "Are you okay?" And I literally just started taking all my clothes off. Now there's a good reason for that, okay? When you go to the hospital and you're hurt and you're in your motorcycle gear that's worth a lot of money to you when you're in high school, every penny counts because they're going to take scissors straight to it, no matter what. They don't even ask you. So that's why I took all my clothes off. And I was just, in my boxers, and they carried me into their car. And then his mom was like, here, you need to sign this waiver. You need to sign this waiver. So I hadn't even signed like a liability waiver and everything. So,
oh, whoa.
Yeah, because it was like on their property.
That could have been a lawsuit.
So our insurance would have, done some damage. But anyways, signed the waiver, got there, and yeah, five screws later, it's all good. I can walk and ride still, but
I feel like that's a sport. You kind of have to. Did you grow up doing that?
I did. Started when I was 4.
Wow. Yeah. They have bikes that small?
Yeah. Well, okay, I lied. I started when I was like, I think 3, but the bike that my dad bought me was a little too much power. It was a CRF 50, which has 3 gears. Okay. Ran it into the fence. So he took that back, got a PW50, which only has 1 gear. All you do is hit the throttle and then grab the brakes, and I was good to go. Soon enough, I was breaking the suspension on it because I kept jumping the thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's a sport you kind of have to be like grow up doing. Because I feel like if I were to get into motocross now, I'd be too freaked out. I wouldn't know what I'm doing. Because I never even ridden like a dirt bike before. I didn't know the name. Motorbike? Dirt bike?
Motorcycle.
I'm a noob, dude.
Motorbike.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
Some giant or Chinese type of knockoff of the dirt bike, but that works too.
Yeah, I feel like most people I know that do motocross have a bunch of stories of injuries.
Yeah, if you ride dirt bikes, most likely you at least you crash. Like, you just do.
It's part of the sport.
It is.
So back to your high school experience with pottery.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you graduate?
I graduated in 2013.
So 2013 you find pottery, and now you have a pottery business. So at that moment when you first discovered pottery, what happened to lead you to like fall deep into this hobby?
Was the therapeuticness of it. I mean, it wasn't just your average pottery class. Well, the class itself was, but I found myself going to the pottery studio every day after school, and sometimes on weekends too. Throwing pottery till like 9 o'clock at night, 12 in the morning, sometimes till like 5.
Wow.
Yeah, we would basically throw, get hungry, go eat, go back and throw, get hungry, go eat, and then go back and throw, and then we'd probably finally go home. But yeah, we would, I don't know, the janitor and the school cop must have just always turned their heads, because, I mean, we knew the school cop and kind of the janitor, and almost like they just kept turning their heads, because we weren't doing anything bad in there. We were just throwing pottery all night.
When you say we, so I assume you weren't alone then?
Yeah, so you know that friend that I was talking about, Parker? Yeah. So he's actually, from, well, it's called Palmyra. It's just by Spanish Fork. And him and Cody went to Maple Mountain, which is where they were introduced into pottery from my ceramics teacher, Brandon Barrett.
Uh-huh.
So Brandon Barrett moved to Pleasant Grove and started teaching ceramics at Pleasant Grove my senior year, which is when I met Parker and Cody, because they would either drive all the way from Spanish Fork to throw with us, and then I think Parker was like halfway registered in Pleasant Grove High School. I don't know how he did it either, but yeah, he was always there, and it was just kind of like us, and maybe a couple other kids that would throw with us. And, Brandon Barrett, he's like the most entrepreneurial guy I know. Big heart and cares about making the world a better place. But he was also like 26 years old at the time.
Oh, that's a young
So he was
teacher.
really young, just married and everything, and hanging out with us all the time.
That's pretty cool. So what kind of influence did your teacher Brandon have on you then?
Brandon kind of helped me find more self-worth. I have so I'm the second oldest of 5 kids. My older sister, Whitney, she's awesome. She's like perfect.
Shout out to Whitney.
Yep. Shout out to Whitney. Yeah, she's married now and she's got this darling daughter whose name is Amari and her husband Jason, and she's got one more on the way. But I always I love her to death, and she kind of knows this. I always felt that I was living in her shadow.
Mm.
She was the perfect child, 4.0. Does cheerleading. I'm pretty sure she's on DECA or was affiliated with stuff like that, and just overachiever, perfect, made good choices too. Wasn't ever sneaking out or anything like that. But yeah, so I forgot, what was your question?
How did he?
How did Brandon? Oh yeah, so I was very depressed by the time I got to my senior year, because it was almost like my time to shine, and my sister, when I was a sophomore, she was a senior, so I was in her shadow even that much more.
Yeah.
We went to the same school together, which was fun too. But my senior year, it's kind of like you're starting to make some big decisions because high school's almost over.
Yeah.
Even if you plan to serve a mission or go into the military or something like that, there's a lot of pressure there. And I got seriously, to this day, I struggle with, I think the number one thing that I struggle with the most is beating myself up.
You're not alone, dude.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there too, but when I was in, a senior in high school, I totally thought I was I didn't even really know I was beating myself up that bad, but Brandon kind of influenced me to help me find self-worth through pottery, which changed my life, which I think influenced my decision to do my own thing, but also involve pottery in future plans somehow in a crazy way.
Yeah, that is true. So what about pottery helped you find? What in pottery helped you find your self-worth?
It was I was really good at motocross, and I've been, doing it since I was 4, but I always wanted to be a supercross racer.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was 9 years old, my parents, I remember this day, came into my room at night, and my mom told me, you can't be a supercross racer. That's just silly. You can't do that. And kind of, before I could even defend myself or, with the crazy idea or anything like that, how crazy it was, because when I think about it now, it's anything's possible. But
Yeah.
at that time, I was crushed. And so...
How old were you?
I was 9 years old, 9 or 10 or something like that. And pottery was this thing that I accelerated in so fast. And it kind of was this positive instant gratification that came into my life and kind of whispered in my ear, every day, dude, you're awesome. Look at you go. You're doing so amazing in pottery. And I had never done it before, and I excelled so fast, and so I felt I'm good at something.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't make it to be a supercross racer, but I'm really good at this. And I think that's really important for everyone to remember too, is you are good a lot of things and to remember that, but at that time that was like the one thing.
That's pretty cool. Like, I agree with you. I think it is so easy to compare yourself to other people and then just beat the crap out of yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, like, oh, I suck. I'm not strong enough, or it's just so easy to fall into that trap. And I do it too, especially because I don't know why. My least favorite day of the year is my birthday.
Really?
Yeah, I hate my birthday because my birthday to me is a reminder of how little I've accomplished, and I just beat myself up. And my wife hates it because cause she
She's
tries
probably
to,
got breakfast
Yeah.
ready, like,
she tries so
come
hard.
on, Hayden, let's go, it's your day.
She tries so hard to like make that day special, but for me it's just, it is a reminder of how little I've accomplished. And I don't know why, but I always compare myself to Mark Zuckerberg. When I hit,
He's the founder of Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
so when I hit 25, it's like, well, at 25, Mark Zuckerberg made Facebook. What have you done, Hayden? Like, I've done nothing. But I don't know why I do it. I'm trying to get better at it, but I really do agree with you. I think some people, everyone does it. I think especially with social media, it is so much easier just to beat yourself up.
Yeah, speaking of social media, I love looking back at my posts before high school ended because like it kind of gives me more hope to keep fighting. Okay, so I get super depressed when I get on social media because it's like that same thing when it's your birthday, like it's like my birthday every day when I look at social media. In a bad way. Like I just, yeah, I compare myself so easily to others and fall into that trap, I guess you could say. And it wrecks me. But when I look back, when I was in high school and Instagram was just a thing, like I have this random picture of me holding a freaking banana in my hand. And I think I put in the caption or whatever, ooh, banana. You know, like Donkey Kong or something. Like, just back then, nothing really, like, it shouldn't matter that much. But nowadays, it's like, I mean, people are using Instagram for businesses and also, like, almost like a personal business, too. Like, it's everything. And there's a lot of pressure on how many followers you have. And what you've accomplished. Why aren't you posting, Tyler? Your life's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You have your own business. You have an amazing, gorgeous wife who does everything to support you. Why aren't you posting about that?
Why don't you post about it?
And I think that was a good...
You like teed me up for that.
Yeah,
one.
I did. I didn't even mean to. That caught me off guard a little bit. I think that lately not posting about things is because at heart I do know that I have accomplished a lot more than, I mean it's kind of almost like tender mercies of how much I've been able to accomplish, you know, of course with the help of my wife and everything, but when I look at social media, it's almost like in the back of my mind I think, or my mind's playing games with me, like, you shouldn't post anything because you're not here yet. You know, you don't have, like, you don't have a Lamborghini. You don't even have a house, Tyler.
Yeah.
Like, I start focusing on the things I don't have versus the things that I do have. And so, yeah, I think it's just falling into that trap. I like not even, I guess kind of on purpose, I try and stay away from social media because I can't help but compare myself because I'm still, you know, I have a lot more work to do there on being okay with Tyler James Nyland.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where are you at right now, you know? And so I think I recently, it's kind of funny this has been brought up, because recently I've thought, you know what, like you should post some things on social media. Like, people out there love you. They want to see your accomplishments. They want to see where you are in life, what you're doing, because for a lot of people, social media is the only thing that's keeping them still connected to, you know, a good proportion of the people they know. I feel like it could be something so positive, but for me, honestly, it's been more negative, and that's my fault because I let myself fall into that. But I gotta remember, you're not perfect. It's okay that you're not posting everything, but
Yeah.
don't be afraid to maybe post something, because something just like this podcast that we say or post might help someone. Guarantee it will.
Oh,
it won't
absolutely.
just might. It
I promise
will.
you this will. Hearing you talking about it right now will help someone. I mean, personally for me, it's helping me because I realize, oh, someone else goes the same way I do about social media. Someone else beats the crap out of themselves when they make that
totally.
daily swipe fest through the it
Yeah.
will help someone.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so stoked to be here, because when I think about, Tyler, you're not like posting anything, like it's so silly, kind of. I feel like I think about it, how it's so silly, but at the same time, it's like, it's okay. Like, you're not posting anything, and something as simple as that. Like, I hope someone out there that, maybe feels the same way, like, it's okay. You don't have to post, and you can feel good about it, but at the same time, maybe think about it as, think outside of yourself, which is really hard, especially when you're comparing yourself to people. Like, it's almost impossible until you get your mind away from all that and think, okay, I feel self-conscious about posting about my life or what I'm doing, or even about family or whatever, but I'm neglecting that person or people out there that are needing my I don't know, my views, my perspective,
Your opinions.
the way I express myself. And that's why I love pottery. To bring it all back.
Dude, that well done.
To bring it all back, like, when I saw you and your wife come in and, like, express your guys' selves through pottery, I think that's one of the most, besides expressing myself through pottery, which is one of the best feelings in this world for me, a really good feeling is when you get someone in there that's like, I'm not artistic, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the lesson, everybody's quiet, and it's not because they're bored or they're, like, nervous to talk to people that they don't know that are there. It's because they're expressing themselves, and you can't really talk with other people while you're expressing yourself in your way on a pottery wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one thing at a time.
That's a really good point.
Sorry, that was a long-winded answer.
No,
but
dude, that was well said. Because that's kind of, I like to talk a lot. I think I'm an extrovert. But when I was doing pottery, I was pretty freaking quiet.
It takes a lot of focus. It really does.
It's an awesome thing to do. It really is. Like, it was a date for Amy and I, and it was a really good experience. So, obviously in high school you discover, I would say, your passion. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Passion, whether it's, pottery and motocross, vice versa, like, those are, definitely huge passions of mine. Like, and I think they're passions because I don't feel like it's really, like, work while you're doing them, There's hobbies here and there, but, like, I live to be jumping in the air on my dirt bike. I live to be throwing a huge, small or big, like, bowl or vase or a teapot, anything. I live for those feelings in life.
That's how life should be lived.
It's pretty It was a little bit deeper than I expected. I'm sorry.
No, dude, I agree with you. I think too many people settle in life. They settle with careers they're gonna hate, but it pays them well. They settle with majors they don't want to do, but mom and dad make them think, oh, I should do this. Or they settle with someone they don't really want to be with, and they're just like, no one else is out there for me, I'll settle with you. Too many people settle in life, in my opinion. And that's what I really respect about you, is because you're hustling, man. You're going after that business. You're making pottery your thing. Like, you're turning your passion into a legit business. And that's an awesome thing to do. Like, too many people, like, personally for me, I work at a finance firm, and I'm in a cubicle, which is hell on earth.
Very much. I've spent some time in a few of those, and it feels like jail.
Yeah.
Like,
no, like legit.
it's not like jail, but like it feels like you're forced to be there basically.
Like, and if you're the person that likes that, then good for you. But for me personally, that's not me. But I walk around the office and I can just see people who have settled and who are just decomposing in their seat and just wasting away, and it's awful to see. So that's why this thing with pottery, it's a great, like, good for you, dude. Like, it's freaking awesome.
Thank you so much.
You have turned this into your business and possibly your future.
Yeah, it's
well done.
It already. Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that because. Yeah, just really thank you. It's kind of funny. I was telling my mom, we have some big news. I just signed my life away, basically. I signed a lease agreement for a decently sized space in Pleasant Grove for our pottery studio. We're investing quite a bit into it as far as, 6 more pottery wheels, things like that. But anyways, it's a 3-year lease, and I was telling my mom about it today, and even after a whole year and some, like, my mom, she's, saying, oh, that's great, like, are you sure, like, very skeptical, which is totally normal, because parents, they want the best for you.
For sure.
If your parents are ever like, are you sure about that? Like, I kind of know you. And before, that used to really hurt me. And it wasn't my mom's fault. It was me just thinking automatically, like, oh, they don't approve of me. What I'm doing is, I'm not... Okay, being a doctor and a lawyer, I admire those people a ton because I wouldn't be able to walk right now if there weren't doctors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that, more stability just never was for me. And it's hard for parents to see their kids put a lot of work and time because, it's not a 9 to 5. It's long days and stuff, but I'm kind of getting sidetracked a little. What I wanted to say was, if you're out there and you feel like, your parents or even your friends, like, are skeptical of desires or thoughts, or even a few actions towards doing your own thing, or, expressing yourself in a way that takes you in a different career path, that's a good sign. Like, I feel like every time that, I love my parents so much. Like, they've literally helped us grow this business in their garage to the point where we could get in the space, but to this day, even, like, they're skeptical of our lifestyle that my wife and I live, and I used to let that allow myself to beat myself up a lot, because it almost felt like, why aren't they encouraging me to go on my own, like, trailblaze my own future, and what are they trying to protect me from? And it's all out of good heart, but don't let yourself get down, like, from all that. Take it as, like, I'm heading in the right direction. If that's your desire, if you don't want to work in a 9 to 5 or cubicle. I don't know very many people that really want a boss, but I have always had deep desires to, be my own boss, but also, kind of find my own way. And it all started with pottery. When you start getting to know yourself, every time you express yourself, I feel like, whether it's through art or a type of activity, you find yourself like you. And, there's going to be people that try and either put you down or steer you a different way. If it feels right to you, just block it out and, acknowledge it, but just block it out and keep pushing.
I agree with that. I'm a true believer that if as you're living life, if people aren't upset or skeptical with the decisions you're making, then you're not living life. If you're living the life you want to live, then people will always be skeptical of what you're doing, or they'll always have opinions about what you should be doing or could have been doing. Because personally for me, I was in school, I dropped out of school. I said, you know what, screw college.
Good for you, man.
I'm done with this.
Good for you.
It's honestly, I think it might be the best decision I ever made. But, you tell it to people, and they're like, oh, well, what about a career? What about a safety net? What about this? What about that? And it's just, if I went back to school, for example, it would not be for me, it would be for them. So I essentially would be living my life for somebody else. But this is my life, so I'm going to live my life how I want to live it. And as a result, it's making some people upset or angry or worried or, discouraged. But that's a good thing. Like, I personally take that as a sign, like, okay, I'm living life how I want to live it. And since that person might be upset, that is a sign to me that, you know what, I'm maybe making the right decision. I'm risking it. But so what? If I don't risk it, I'm just going to end up like you, or,
You're not going to get the biscuit.
Yeah, you got to risk that stuff, man. But I wanted to ask you, you said that you used to care about what they would say. So what changed for you to not care or not worry about that? Their opinions.
Every little step that I took in the opposite direction, I guess you could say, wasn't overnight. Still isn't overnight thing. Like, a little piece of me still cares, but I think I just got to the point where I've been learning this one. Well, I've been learning a lot of things lately, but just this one thing in particular keeps coming up in my mind of every time that somebody, expresses that concern of, what if this happens? What if that happens? And they're skeptical, it's because most likely they wish they could be as brave as you and take those same steps in their life. Most of the time, it's them who, out of love, but also, maybe unintentional, no one should be in your friends or family circle that really, and take this with a grain of salt, that is intentionally hurting you. Like, you shouldn't allow them to really be in your life. Now, you shouldn't shun them or hate them or anything like that, but you don't need that intentional hurtful energy in your life. But what I was trying to say is, most of the time when people accidentally hurt you, it's because they're hurting inside and wish that, not that they could be you, but that they could take similar steps in their life too. That they, there's things that everybody wants to do in life. And you get, I guess, to answer your question, the very essence of knowing what you want to do in life or deciding how you want to live your life, the very essence of knowing that you only have one life, that I think is what changed for me. Is, we only have one life really here on earth, and so, if you want to be a doctor and go spend 8 years in school and everything like that, go do it. If you want to, start your own podcast, things like that, and, like, go do it. Like, it's you got one life. Like, what do you have to lose? Every time they ask you, like, what if this, what if that, what if this? Well, what if what I'm doing, following my heart, what if it really does turn out great? And what if I make it? What if? Like, there's that possibility too. But also, like, God forbid, like, this Kreative Kiln's gonna work out, guys. But if it doesn't, like, what if? What am I gonna do? Well, I know what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna go sit in a cubicle and waste my own time. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, if you're in a cubicle and you're miserable and you know it, and if you think, like, I want to be over here, like, do it. There's people out here, like, I was just like that. And after getting, leaving jobs and then eventually getting fired from a job, I finally realized, oh my gosh, like, I can do this. Like, if I can do this, you can do it, okay? I felt, besides pottery, like, I didn't think much of myself at all, which is so sad because everybody has so much to offer. So much to offer. If you don't express yourself and do what you truly think you should be doing, you're doing a disservice to yourself and a disservice to everyone around you. And I truly believe that. And that's what I love seeing when people come into the pottery studios. Like, I can tell they enjoy it, but also that they kind of get this energy of, like, I think I just had a brain fart. Hold on, it's coming back. A desire to, like, be there and in the present, and it's like a break.
You can't be in your phone when you're on the wheel.
No, you can't. And it has to slow you down. Yeah. Crap. Yeah, I don't know where I was going.
No worries. But with what you were saying, something that I always tell myself is, why not you? That person has a successful business, why not you? That person lost a bunch of weight, why not you? That person did a diet, why not you? Like, why not you? Anybody can do something. If I really truly believe that we have more strength than we even know. If we truly want something, we can do it.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that's exactly where I was trying to go. Okay? Like, you are your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Okay? And when you told me, a few things to think about before coming on tonight, one of the main things that, if anybody wants to know who I am, one of the things that I am centered in, like, it's a saying, it's actually lyrics to a song, changed my life. I'm a huge John Bellion fan.
Right.
Like, huge. Like, I listen to him every day on repeat, and my wife, she loves it but hates him because I listen to him so much. He's my he has a lot of creative energy. But anyways, there's a song called Stupid Deep. And I knew when it came out, it's for, I believe it's a song that is so, it's kind of funny, deep. It's the name, Stupid Deep. Everybody can relate to, because the line that changed my life, and if you want to, get to know me a little bit more, really sit in your car at night, no one around, and listen to that song. But anyways, first line changed my life. It says, what if who I always hoped to be was always me?
It's pretty deep.
So if you, really just think about that, what if who I always hoped to be was always me? There's been many times where I feel like while I was going off and doing my own thing with the Kreative Kiln, trying to pay for school. I'm in college for other people, by the way. Mainly my wife. But then a lot of days where I come home and I'm like, I'm done. She's like, no, you're not, Tyler. You have 1 semester left. I'm like, I don't care. I'm done. I'm this close still. But anyways, shoot, where was I? There's been a lot of times through this journey, in the past year, 2 years, where I started going off and doing my own thing, leaving jobs because I wasn't happy, leaving jobs because my boss was either, not very nice to me or treating me the way he should have, or he or she should have, especially when I was grinding and looking for opportunities. Like, don't let those people stop you. Like, go do what you want to do, but also remember, like, when you're in the thick of it, and you lose sight of your vision or the even reason why, like maybe the reason why you left college, if you all of a sudden you get all these people that are like, you shouldn't have left college, you start getting self-doubt. When you get in the thick of it and you have self-doubt, remember, like, I always try and remember that. What if who I always hoped to be was always me? Like, you're always gonna be who you are and like who you're meant to be, but it's up to you to like follow your heart and truly find that true self, and that will distinguish, or like that will get rid of self-doubt. At least it's worked for me, through all the negative or self-doubt that you have. Like, you are where you are today because of who you are. That can be kind of confusing, but like I said, grain of salt.
It's a good point, though. I mean, you are who you are meant to be. At the same time, you are who you want to be. If you want to be someone successful, well, do things that successful people
You gotta go do something.
Exactly. You can't just sit there and... One of my favorite words... Actually, never mind.
No, you have to say it now.
Well, it sounds inappropriate, but it's pussyfooting. I say it all the time, but like, when someone's just wasting life away, they're just pussyfooting life away. They're just not doing anything, but they want to have a better life.
Yeah.
But they'll complain about everything in their life.
Yep.
And they act like life owes them a favor, but they're not willing to do the work to get that stuff.
Yeah. My wife, she...
Sorry to listeners with that word.
Yeah, no. Sorry in advance. Whenever I'm feeling like complaining and stuff, because there's times where I like to complain, especially about freaking school. My wife has even said this, and sorry, babe, I kind of ride you out on this, but she's called me a little bitch. Okay? Stop being a little bitch, Tyler, and just man up and get to work. And, there's this very sensitive side where, you need to think about yourself and realize, okay, you're not a little bitch, but, acknowledge, like, the feelings you're having, and then see where you are now, see where you want to go, which you know where you want to be. Whether it is a life with, I've always had desires to have, like, luxurious things, and you could even call them dreams. It almost seemed like the way my dad always, raised us was we always had to, I don't know, it's like there's never enough money. Well, what if you had the mindset like money comes easily and frequently, like my Aunt Missy always tells me, who is a multi-millionaire. Like, change your mindset, but also, give yourself some self-love and patience. Like, you don't want to call yourself a little bitch when you're down in the dumps, unless you have an awesome wife who can get you right back out of there, a bounce back. Big Sean, shout out to Big Sean, the bounce back song. But anyways, yeah, because, sometimes, well, a lot of times in life, like, you just, especially when you choose to do what you want to do, comes with a price. Like, you gotta man up, and you can't be a little bitch about things. You just gotta, especially if you choose that route, you have to be okay with things getting so hard to the point where you're gonna complain, and it's hard. Yes, it's hard, but like, get yourself out of there. Like, you can do it.
I always think you should celebrate when it gets hard, because if it was easy, everyone else would be doing it.
Yep.
You know, if it's hard, it's gonna be worth it.
Yep.
So with your pottery business, when did you start doing it? How old is your business?
Well, we technically registered it as a LLC in September of 2018. And so now it's January of 2020, so a year and October, November, December. Yeah, a year and 3 months.
Were you scared? Like, what made you want to start the business?
I always wanted to own my own business, and remember when I kind of mentioned my friend Daniel Johnson?
Yeah.
Huge influence on me. At that time before we started it, we went to St. George. I think we met up with him down in St. George, and I brought my dirt bike, he brought his dirt bike, and his dad had a Razor, so my wife and his wife drove around in the Razor, kind of followed us through what's called Warner Valley, down in the washes out there.
Okay.
Super fun, so much fun. It was one of the best trips, probably, one of the best trips. But anyways, we were out there looking at some dinosaur tracks, got some little dinosaur tracks out there, and he's just telling me about how he loves the entrepreneurial lifestyle, and it always, I had desires to not only own my own business, but if I did something in life, like I wanted to do, I'm an all or nothing guy. I'm a risk taker, for sure. Now, I've learned a lot. I'm still kind of a dumb risk taker sometimes. Like, my wife and I should have awesome mountain bikes right now, but instead I gambled a little bit in the stock market. I lost $3,000.
Oh, dang.
I broke even, though, okay? So I can feel a little bit better, but still, like... But anyways, he was telling me about, entrepreneurial lifestyle, and man, I was being a little bitch, kind of, always complaining about how, man, I'm sick of, my 9 to 5, like, I want the freedom to go do what I want, but also, not have a boss and feel stress about, I'm doing my best in my job, I'm trying to do extra things, I'm looking for opportunities. It almost felt like everybody was just trying to stunt my growth.
Yeah.
So I was like, looking back, I'm like, good idea, Tyler. Good luck, like, like you're about to face a lot of fire.
Yeah.
Like, you got what you wished for. So anyways, I decided to just, when I get home from this trip, I'm gonna I don't even think I told myself, when you get home from this trip, you're gonna do this. It was more like my brain started toying with me. Like, hey, Tyler, you should do this. You should do this. So if your brain's thinking about that, and what's worked for me too is when that starts happening, I almost, I don't like kneel down and start saying a prayer or anything like that, which probably be a lot more powerful or effective depending on your beliefs and stuff like that. But I believe that there's another way to pray to God or the universe or whatever you believe in, almighty power. Once those thoughts get toying in your brain, and then you start praying or meditating about it, like, shit gets real.
Yeah.
Like, things start to happen. I mean, I got fired from my job, which launched me into it. It was almost like I didn't have a safety net anymore, and I got what I wished for. But it was scary. Like, it was so scary because I was like, well, I don't have a job, and I guess I could try and make a website. I don't know how I'm going to do all this. Like, how am I going to get people up in the Highland to do pottery? Like, it's way out of the way of the freeway and all that stuff.
And at your parents' house, too.
And at my parents' house, in their garage. So I think I just got to work. Like, I didn't have anything else to do either, and I had to pay for college somehow, which, I love Daniel so much, but he dropped out of college, and so it's always been on the back of my mind. Like there's been so many times, you guys, where I've almost ditched college, but somehow I've like stayed in it, and I guarantee you, like, the Creative Kiln will probably be bigger if I would have really, like, 100% bounced up out of college, which
Let's do it now.
I should. My last semester, why not? Just screw it, right? Yeah, I don't know. What was your question, though? Like, I'm trying to remember where I was.
Oh, yeah, like, how did it start?
Yeah, so it started kind of like that. I bought a pottery wheel, and then
Did you just buy one, or how many
I
did you
just
buy?
bought one, and then we had some friends over, and I kind of taught them. I taught a lot of pottery in high school, and so I knew some pretty good ways on how to teach people who'd never tried it before, which most people haven't tried it before, which is kind of sad, but it's a good thing too for us, come and try it. But soon I was like, I'm gonna buy another one. And we're going to try and start doing lessons. So, bought another one, and I think through like Instagram, I want to say her name was Becky and Zach. They're married now. But I know the guy's name is Zach for sure, so I'm sorry, Becky, or I should know that. They were our first paying customers. And they showed up, and we did our first lesson, and it was a shit show. I'm sorry, but I should have asked you for
say whatever you want.
You can bleep me out and stuff.
No, I'll just put explicit. You're good. Say whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm not here to tell you what you can say.
It was bad, you guys. Like, I think his piece of pottery almost started catching on fire. That's the other cool thing about us, though. Not pottery catching on fire, but we use torches to heat up the clay so you can take it off the wheel without squishing your piece. And I was helping his wife now. They got married. Becky, or... I'm so bad. Anyways.
Zach and Mrs.
Dubray. See, I know the last
There you
name.
go.
There we go. That's pretty impressive. And I turn around, and Zach's just lighting up his pottery, and all of a sudden, the sparks come off, and the pottery's like lighting on fire, and it cracks in half, like straight up. So you're like, well, what do you do then? It's your first lesson. Like, someone's completely falls apart or catches on fire. How are you gonna make it up? Like, what do you even do in that situation? Yeah. So anyway, I can't remember exactly what we did. I think I offered him, like, the demo piece that I did. I show you guys a demonstration of how to throw clay on the wheel before you get on the wheel. So I think I offered that. I can't remember exactly, but in the end, you guys, it all worked out. Like, even though at the time it felt like nothing was going to work out, like, if you put your heart and soul into it, and you take a risk, and you're not gambling with it. You're doing what you want. Like, people are very understanding, and I'm sure Zach doesn't think, back to that day and think like, man, Tyler was insane. That kid was crazy trying to start a business, and nothing was like as systematic as it is now and flows smoothly. And so, like, people kind of forget, but what they did remember, I think, at least I hope, is that they had fun and they felt the therapeuticness from it.
Yeah. That's a good point. So how soon, when you started your business, did you get that first customer? How soon afterwards?
It was in the same month.
How did they find you? Instagram?
September. I think it was Instagram. Yeah, Mercedes was not like friends with her. She kind of knew of her and was kind of her friend, I think, from either school at Lone Peak or BYU. But they found us, and there's stuff we didn't even know how much to charge them. We had like done a few couples, little date night lessons with friends. And we still have framed my good dear friend Brandon Love and his lovely wife Alyssa Love came. I actually served in Spain with them, but they came and supported us, and they were our legit first paying customer. They gave us $10, so we made them sign it. We sell it framed and everything, but yeah, we didn't even know what to like charge them, and it all happened so fast. But it was crazy. Like all of a sudden, the business became, changed from like a hobby / business to like, okay, this could actually be a business. These are real paying customers. And so wherever you find them, whether it's on Instagram, talking to them at school, or anything like that, like if anybody's starting something like that, like whenever I hear about people starting, their own business and things like that, like I jump on it and I like say, when can you have me over? Like I want to try it. Because man, I know exactly what they're about to go through. And they were, Zach and Mrs. Dupre were just so cool about everything, and it happened so fast. And then once they posted something about it, next thing you know, we had another customer. And word of mouth's huge. I think people kind of forget maybe about that, but if you want your business to grow, your customers have to sell it for you, or else it's going to be really hard to grow your business. If your customers are selling it for you, then most likely it'll grow and continue to grow like ours has.
How much does social media play into your business?
Huge. Over the holidays, we spent more than $1,000 in promotions, which is scary, like for a small business. Instagram. Yeah, just click the little promotions button, and then you decide, okay, how much of my money do I want to spend in here? Oh, I could reach this many people or this. And it's very scary to drop $1,000 for one day of promotions. But I think the thing that I've learned about that, and don't do that if that's the only $1,000 you have in your business bank account. Have at least a couple thousand, maybe a little bit more. But don't be afraid to invest in advertising if it brings you returns. So test it out first and then do it. So once we knew that Instagram worked for us, I didn't ask my wife. I just dropped it and it worked out really well. $1,000 turned in like 10,000 and things like that. So once you're, just stepstone. My whole business has grown like if I look at it now, it's grown like super fast, but it doesn't grow as fast as obviously you want it or think it will. Like it's still stepping stones or stairs. Like to get to this level, you have to do this, and then you'll get to that level, and then you'll get to the next level. It's never really a overnight sensation. Ours still isn't even a sensation yet, but it's just gradual.
At what point did you think this could be a legit job?
Well, I don't know. I have one of my advisors at UVU. Because I'm studying entrepreneurship, I get the privilege to meet with Mark Seastrand, who is pretty well known in the entrepreneurship industry or whatever you want to call it. And man, every time I go in there, it's like I'm getting trimmed down like crazy. Like he tells me all these things that like I'm not doing, and I'm like, ah. But basically, for it to actually be worth it or a career, we're needing to push like $250K in revenue at least.
Yeah.
to have enough left over to where, okay, like, yeah, I would, you know. So those meetings can be a little depressing for me because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so far from that. But, like, once you see yourself grow, it's addicting, and you're not going to stop till you get there. And so, in my vision, like, the Kreative Kiln, yeah, if it pushes 250K, 500K in revenue a year, that'd be sweet. But I don't plan on stopping at just that. I plan on, like, I want to flood Utah and other states with pottery, so that people can feel that therapeuticness. Like, we live in such a fast-paced world that I truly believe people need this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people need to just, there's other ways to get away from your phone and slow down, but man, pottery is mesmerizing. I don't know if you remember, but either people are like oohing and awing as I'm doing my demo, or they're like falling asleep because it's mesmerizing. It's not because they're bored, but they're like so mesmerized, and maybe they feel that way when they watch my videos on Instagram.
Dude, they're hypnotic.
They hypnotize myself. I get on there, I'm like, another 2 minutes has just passed, and oh wait, no, 15. I just watched like 5 of my videos in a row, and I've seen these. I edited these. I filmed these. Like, it's crazy.
I watched one where it's like most of your forearm, like it was like your like your whole arm was basically in there.
Yeah.
And you're just going up it, and you can see like the ridge and like, how it affects the pot. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But it was hypnotic.
That's very. Oh yeah, I know exactly. Yep. The bigger, yeah, and the ones that I love are the ones that I make bowls, because I get to stretch those out faster, or sooner, I guess you could say. They're really fun to watch, just stretch and stretch and stretch. But yeah, it's very therapeutic, and so I love doing those videos. I wish like, I'm gonna basically flood our Instagram and maybe my personal Instagram and stuff with those videos even more so, especially once I'm done with school, because those videos, pottery, it's therapeutic to people. It can help people a lot to express themselves, even if they think they're not creative, just because there's so many things you can do with 1 pound of pottery. But those videos, I hope, help people unwind and also just feel therapeutic moments in their day, especially when they need them, because it can help clear your mind. I think that's what it does for the most part, is those types of things. They clear your mind and allow you to move on to the next step of the day, or just get outside yourself, maybe, not think about yourself so much, and maybe be present with people and looking up.
Yeah.
Like looking up from your phone, like looking around, admiring the simple things, which is so much harder than it sounds. Wait. Yes. It's harder than it sounds. Yeah.
It made sense.
It's harder to see the simple things in life and really enjoy and be present with people than... It's easier said than done. That's what I was going for.
How do you maintain a healthy relationship with social media for your business?
It's those videos, I think. Mercedes, she does most of the posts and stuff, and she'll get real mad at me if I start like posting things without running it by her, which I think is really cute and fun, because I like breaking rules, and I like, not breaking like crazy rules, but I love being a little mischievous and fun, goofy that way, in a good way.
Yeah.
But yeah, my social media, the videos, they help me. Like, I know they're helping people out there. I know people like them, but more than so, I really hope and I know that like they're helping people, and so anytime I post a video, I either like to say something like inspirational or I know that, the video can help someone. So it's more of a positive thing for me. It's not like me posting a sick picture of me doing a backflip on a wakeboard. Like, that was one of my early posts. I think I have a few of those actually
That's
on my
pretty cool.
Instagram.
That's pretty cool.
Don't worry, guys. I landed on my head like 20 times before I even landed that thing. And so that's how it's a lot more positive, is because I know it's doing good, and it's easy to not feel pressure from myself, like thinking, I need to post something. It's more like a want.
Yeah. Have you had any influencers do the pottery stuff? First of all, what a weird term influencers is.
Yeah, I love influencers. No, influencers are great. We went to a movie, Knives Out.
Great movie. Loved it.
Yeah, that lady who plays, she's in the family and she's an influencer. It's so funny. So funny, the way she acts and stuff. Like, I'll take care of, just, I know all influencers aren't like that out there, but we've had a few influencers come in, and I feel like they've had a good time, and I'm grateful for them coming in and just getting on the pottery wheel and doing their thing. But it is kind of a weird idea, and I feel like a lot of people, for me, a lot of times I'll fall into this trap of thinking like, oh my gosh, being an influencer must be so easy, and you get all this free stuff and all that, but I feel like a lot of them are grinding out there, and they're putting themselves in kind of a vulnerable state too, that a lot of times I'm not even comfortable enough to do on my social media as well. Like, luckily for me, most of the time, and maybe this is hindering my audience or people that maybe need me, but like, I am so glad I can communicate through I want to add some music to my videos, but all my videos are they're silent. It's just the pottery, like, me throwing pottery, and I hope people can see through, like, my eyes or my facial expressions, or things like that, of how I'm communicating to them and how relieving pottery can be for me and them. And we're going on a wayside tangent. But yeah, what were you saying about it?
Just with influencers.
Yeah.
Have they helped your business grow pretty big then?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think so, but it's hard to track. The only, I guess you could call her influencer, I love this lady, the Potted Pansy.
Shout out to the Potted Pansy.
The Potted Pansy. She did our wedding flowers, and something cool that not a lot of people know that we do or have done is I made about, I think, 6 to 10. That's a terrible, like, summation, or no, what's the word?
Estimation?
Estimation of the pots. But anyways, made about 6 to 10. I know it was more than 6. Beautiful vases for in October, specifically made for women who are fighting breast cancer. My mom-in-law, she's a survivor of breast cancer, and I met her just on the tail end of, she was in her last treatment. And something that I like to say, I have a big heart, and in the end I want to help people and do good. And, because that's not what it's about, and what's life about, helping someone's it's an amazing feeling. But I never even met the woman that received my my pottery that we donate, but Potted Pansy, she teamed up with us and donated beautiful arrangements of flowers. She is high caliber when it comes to flowers, and I'm so grateful that she's able to donate those. And so as far as, like, our followers and an impact on society in general. Like Potted Pansy was one of the most impactful influencers that came onto us because I got to hear from my mom-in-law and my wife who delivered the vases, and my mom-in-law wrote a letter or a little note every the morning of every time they gave, you know, someone a vase with those beautiful flowers in it, and I got to hear from them the experiences and stuff like that, and some of them were so gracious to send a little note in the mail, and I got to read it and stuff. But I never even met the people, but you know that when you hear about how the stories went, like, it was so impactful. So I think she's one of the most impactful influencers that we've had. We've had a lot of other ones that have come and just done the pottery class and helped us out a little bit, but as far as like, I can't even tell you how impactful the followers are, because it's hard to track that when influencers help out your business. But anytime that you invest, whether it's in, you know, complete donation with someone, or whether it's, you know, for money or exchange of value, some good is going to happen from it if you have good intentions. So yes, without a doubt, our business has grown from influencers, but we haven't focused in that area as much as maybe like the Gem Studio has. And this is all speculation. Like, I've heard that they have utilized like a lot of influencers and it's helped their business grow. I mean, they're blowing up. They're killing it. They're in City Creek now. And so it's something I'd like to explore more, but it's kind of hard to track unless you see them, you know, all the followers just pop up in one thing.
Right away. So how is it working with your wife? How do you like that process?
Like running a business.
Yeah, running a business. Yeah.
It's like blissful and really hard.
How so?
I think it's hard on both of us. I think a lot of people don't realize that when a couple is building a business, it's like having, you know, I mean, I don't have kids, so it's not like I know having kids is freaking hard. It's probably the hardest thing in this world. But maybe second to that, or third or fourth, wherever you want to put it, building a business with your spouse, it's hard because my wife and I, we struggled a lot with even intimacy and desire like that, because we're always with each other.
Yeah.
Which is the coolest part about it. Is like, you get to do what you love with the person that you love more than anyone in this world, and so that part's amazing. Like, we always are hanging out with each other and we're doing great things. But when we get home, like just the other week, my wife, she like, you know, she kind of, we were just sitting in bed about to, you know, do our nightly ritual where we watch some Netflix and stuff, and it got kind of serious, and she just kind of told me, like, hey, you know, you are like never present when we're home, and I kind of got into that funk of where I was always on my phone. When I got home, I was editing videos. I was doing homework. I was answering emails. Stuff that's important to the business and important to the growth of the business and kind of our marriage too, to hopefully reach a point of financial stability and growth. But like I said, that being present is very difficult, and I needed her to say that, because we knew, like, it can put quite a bit of strain on a marriage when you're always together. There's no, like, more often times you don't like miss each other as much because you're with each other all the time.
Yeah.
And it put a strain on our like sexual life, a part of marriage too, which it makes it even, you know, it amplifies that too, for sure. But although it is very hard, it's definitely worth it. I think hanging out with her all the time, or even today, like I bounced in the studio a couple times because I was running around and things, and just to see her, and we have her mom, we kind of hired her mom, and she helps us out, which is really fun too. But those days, you know, after long weekends and stuff, seeing her just grind, like she's, I don't know, it's just so fun to watch her grow as a person because she's an introvert, very much. Like, she'll get nauseous and, like,
Really?
The fear of meeting new people, and I'm more of an extrovert, and sometimes, you know, like, I don't want to, I don't feel like meeting new people, or which is kind of sad because, you know, there's so many awesome people out there, but you get into your own little box, and you kind of want your own space, and that's okay. It's okay to have that, but it's been amazing watching her grow, like, with the business. Before, like, she hated, you know, like, even getting out of her, nobody likes getting out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, for sure.
But the whole extrovert and introvert thing, like, being an extrovert definitely helps when you're trying to build a business, but to tag, you know, her tagging along, yeah, I praise her, like, every day as much as I can because I know she's always getting out of her comfort zone, and I feel like a lot of the time she does it, you know, for herself, but she does it for me too. And I think that can help us grow in unity too. So there's a lot of positives. Just like in life, there's hard times, but it's definitely worth it.
For sure. One of those Tony Robbins, one of those like self-motivating people.
Yeah.
One of those, like, I don't know his name, but yeah, he's very famous. He works with a bunch of celebrities and famous people and stuff like that. Life coach, that's the term. He said starting a business is the most selfish thing an individual can do. And when he said that, it caught me off guard because I want to have, like, I have my own business. I want to have several other businesses, but it's true, because having a business, and as you know, as you just said, it takes so much of your time. Like, you constantly have to be on your phone or your laptop or processing orders, doing stuff like that just to get everything done and keep the business afloat.
Yeah.
It's hard. It really is hard because you kind of have to figure out what your priorities are.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of sad sometimes when I think about close friends that I had and Mercedes had. You know, I can already think of some of her friends that just naturally, I don't know if it's because, well, I know it's actually because of different lifestyles. When, you know, like our closest friends, Daniel and Johnson, you know, and his wife Ashlyn, and then we hang out a lot with Colton Woods and his wife Shay. Those guys understand us, and it's a lot easier to hang out with them when they kind of know what you're going through, and it's sad that we've I mean, it's not super sad because, you know, to each of their own, everybody kind of chooses their paths, and friends gravitate in and out of your life, you know, just because we don't hang out with our old friends as much as, you know, maybe we should from other people's views or our views even. Like, you know, if you're longtime friends with someone and then all of a sudden your lifestyle changes from theirs, they're going to have different perspectives than you do on how you should live life. So naturally, you're going to gravitate away from each other. And so I think it's important to remember, like, no matter where you go, you're going to gravitate you're going to have friends that gravitate in and out of your life, but there's certain friends that really hit hard, and they're kind of the people that, you need to be around because they support you. Yeah, well, I keep going off on kind of tangents. I know there was a reason why.
I was talking about
business is selfish.
Priorities.
Yeah, so I guess that's our selfish thing. Yeah, you figure out who are your true friends, and like one of my best friends growing up. Well, okay, Justin and Caden. Like I still talk to them here and there and stuff. We don't hang out all the time, but it's not because I like them less or more. But like we hang out with Daniel and Ashlyn and Colton and Shay. It's a lot more selective where you want to spend your time, because we love and we're so grateful. Shout out to all of our customers, because without you it wouldn't be possible. And we love you so much, but when we do get home and stuff, we kind of like a break. I shouldn't have said that. I hope you understand me and still love us, but like,
it shows you're human by saying that, in my opinion. It shows you're human.
Everybody has, everybody has those people that they know will energize their life and make it happy, and then they've got people who are in their life that maybe aren't as energizing, or worst case scenario, are toxic. And it's hard to gravitate away from those friends that, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I used to hang out with them all the time. Like, maybe it's a bad thing I'm not hanging out with them, but really, it's not a bad thing. It's okay. Like, you're just changing, they're changing, don't take it personal, and just continue to support each other. And, if that's, if a text, once a month or once every 6 months or something like that is all the, like, just keep doing what your heart tells you to do. Don't worry about, who gravitates in and out of your life. Like, starting a business, it's going to be selfish. I'd like to put this in a more nice way, but you're going to lose friends, but then you're going to gain friends.
True.
And most of the time, especially with those two couples that I named, those friendships are going to last forever. And those friendships are real. And you don't have to try to be friends. It's just natural. And if you can gravitate towards that, there's no price on that. I think that's very important, is to hang out with people that it's natural to hang out with. It's not a bad thing that, some of your other friends might not be as natural. But have the courage to do what is natural. Like, yeah.
What does it take for someone to be your friend in your life?
What does it take?
Yeah. What does somebody have to do? Like what?
That's a scary question to qualify.
Yeah, because I'm sure with your business you met a lot of acquaintances, right?
I've met so many good people, and there's one guy in particular. I'm really tired, you guys. Like, my brain is not working very well.
And he's a little sick.
And I am a little sick. Still stoked to be here though. And I can't think of his name right. I can kind of see it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Just the coolest dude. Like, offered. He told me, like, hey, when you move, like, let me know. I'll help. He's a big guy. And him and his wife came and did a pottery lesson, but we were telling him about our new space, and he was like, I want to help you, like, move. Like, I'm strong. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need your help, like, moving these kilns. These are huge. Like, I could fit inside one of the kilns. They're big. And they're heavy. And then, he reached out, and I told him how my wife and I, we love game night. Like, Cover Your Assets.
Oh, dude.
Trouble.
That's the best.
Grades Down Moody.
You played Secret Hitler?
Yes. Played
Love
Secret
it.
Hitler.
Werewolf?
No. haven't played Werewolf. We played like Skull King,
Okay.
Skull King, I think is what it's called, which is kind of fun too. Like, we'd love to try those games. Like, we're huge about games, and actually Colton and Shay kind of introduced us into all those games, and we're very competitive, so it's very fun. But and so they like to do games too. This guy that I'm talking about, and they invited us, over Sunday, or they told us like, hey, you should come over, like, and. I like to be straight up with people, and I kind of told them, I was like, honestly, like, we don't ever have weekends, and most of the time people are working on the weekdays, and weeknights they don't hang out with friends that often.
Mm-hmm.
So our schedule is flip-flop. So I kind of told them that, I was like, my schedule is completely opposite of like a lot of people out there who have 9 to 5s and stuff like that, because we work constantly on weekends. And then Sunday is like our only day, and that's a day where we don't hang out with anybody.
Yeah, good for you.
If anything, we hang out with Mercedes' parents. They're like, we live in their basement, by the way, and couldn't do the business without them either. And they're so fun to play with. But I wish that I could spread myself so thin to hang out and get to know everyone. Especially that guy that offered to help me with my own business and not expect to be paid or things like that, Like, I want to, become closer friends with this guy, but just because Mercedes and I, like, have this routine of hanging out with Colton and Shay on Thursday nights usually. We might be there till 2 a.m. or whatever playing games after doing lessons. And then waking up and doing lessons all weekend and stuff like that. Like, it's hard to get your schedule in line with everybody else's, and everybody else is having the same issue too. So if you want to hang out, well, yes, this goes back to the question of what does it qualify? What does a person have to do to be my friend? Well, everybody can be my friend, okay? Anytime anybody needs something, like, I try and be present, especially even if, sometimes I don't have time to be as present, which is sad, and I'm trying to be better at that. But just messaging me and offering to help me move my business, stuff like that, like, still consider you as a friend, even if, I'm not hanging out with you every weekend or stuff like that. Like, you only have a limited amount of time every week. Do what makes you happy. Like, do that for yourself and just, I don't know, go about it. I'm not even answering your question very much. I keep spinning circles around it.
It sounds like a friend to you is someone who will help out expecting nothing in return.
Yeah.
Or maybe even be there for, like...
It's just a true friend. It's like they'd do anything for you, and if you have that with someone, like, it's kind of like, show respect. If you expect to be... expect respect in return.
Yeah.
It's kind of that thing. And I feel like anybody can, anybody should qualify to be anybody's friend, as long as, they're a positive influence in your life. If they're negative, you can't surround yourself with that, especially, if they're family, it's kind of hard. You can't really get away from family, and that's the whole essence of life is. And
it's a good and bad thing.
It's a good and bad thing, but if they're not family and they're not if they're not your friend because of who you are, and they might be acting like it, and I've fallen into this before, where I act like I try and be friends with someone for personal gain, and it's totally unintentional, and I'm not trying to be friends with them because of really just who they are. That's really hard. It's really hard to do. And the more that you find friends that are your friend because of who you are and not because of the way they're, acting and stuff or trying for personal gain, like, you can weed those people out. It's easy to weed those people out once you really see who could be a true friend.
True. It sounds like you're working a lot. So what are you doing to avoid getting burnt out?
This. No.
Red Bull.
This is a bad example, you guys. Don't. Sugar-free. I like it for the taste, not just because it's sugar-free. So that's obviously not that, okay? I tried to. I'm still working on like a healthy I'd be lying if I said I'm working on eating healthy, because that is a complete lie. Just the other day, I love In-N-Out. I don't really classify that as really like terrible food for you.
I don't either.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I get protein style like burgers, but I get a 4x4.
Nice.
Which is a little bit more than
you're a man.
More than the double. But I get a protein style, and I like a little extra crunch, and I get the French fries because I like carbs. But so I try and eat it. It's good food. I feel like, especially if you get it.
Shake Shack's freaking rubbish.
Shake Shack. I've never even been to Shake Shack.
Shake Shack sucks. In-N-Out Burger is the supreme burger.
Yeah, I feel like, you go to McDonald's, like, you're digging your own grave. Like, it's unhealthy, but, like, the other day I went there, I was like, okay, I'm only going to get, like, a McDouble or something. Ended up leaving the place with, 10, I saw the 2 for $5, saw the 10-piece chicken nugget, and then I decided to get a Big Mac. I was deep battle inside, a quarter pounder or a Big Mac. What do I choose? Decided to get a Big Mac, and then of course you got to get a large fry with it, because guess what? When you get home, you know that your lovely, amazing wife is just gonna say, even though you text her and said, hey, I'm stopping by, like, do you want anything? Even though she says no, she's gonna ask for a little bit of fry. So gotta get the large.
There's always scavengers.
There's always your wife, man. No, I think I'll just have some of yours. Like, we laugh about it all the time, because every time I'm like, that's why I get 4x4s now, and I get my own French fry, because I know if I only get one French fry, she's gonna say, oh no, I just want a little, but then end up eating most of the French, which is she's a beast. Like, I love her so much. She's amazing, and so anyways, yeah, to maintain a healthy lifestyle, very hard when you're so busy, but as far as like exercising goes, exercising is very important, and I don't, like the exercise I did this morning, I stretched my lower back. It hurts a lot when I'm doing a lot of pottery and teaching, so I'm like bent over all the time and stuff, and so I felt a little sick too. So normally I do something small, like I've got this pull-up bar at home that my wife bought me. Very kind of her. Very good little suggestion. Yep, that was like a surprise little. She's like, look what I got for you on Amazon. I'm like, oh, thank you. I need to get some bigger muscles. And because I always pressured myself, like, okay, if I'm not working out at least for an hour every morning, like, I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
Which would be great. It would be so great to work out every day for an hour, which for, my wife, she's pretty good about it. She goes to Vasa with her sister-in-law, so she makes me feel like an idiot when it comes to working out and eating healthy, but she also helps me eat very healthy, and she helps me exercise because she buys me, pull-up bars and stuff. So I try and do little things, whether it's on the pull-up bar. you can grab it, just like normal pull-ups, which are really hard. And then they've got a bar that comes out here on the sides where it's a little bit easier, and then you can do pull-ups, with your fist facing you, which is a little bit easier. And so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start doing 3 pull-ups with each of those variations. So 3 pull-ups this way, 3 pull-ups that way, 3 pull-ups this way.
Do you go full vertical, like all the way down, arms straight?
All the way down.
Nice.
Don't half-ass it. It's not worth it. Just
no point doing it if you can do that.
If you do, it's not okay. Just don't do it. If you need to, do less reps. Just don't half-ass it.
It's still a workout, though.
It's still a workout. So I'll do like a warm-up session of push-ups, and now I've gotten to the point where and I don't do it every day. I have a goal to. I want to. But I suck.
Just
trying. I'm trying, guys. But I'll do like 25 push-ups now, and then 25 like I don't know what do you call those? Dips. Yep.
What is?
Yeah.
Tricep. Yeah.
Tries. Yep. You're doing your tries, and then I'll do the pull-ups, and then I'll do another set of push-ups and dips, and that's it'll take me like. Depends on the day. Maybe like 10 to 20 minutes is what I aim for to at least, and if I can get on the treadmill, even better. Like running, although it hurts my foot, just exercise in general, like you can never go wrong with doing just a little bit at a time. Yeah, it'd be great to do like an hour every day or 2 hours or whatever like that, but I have bad depression, and I don't take any medication for it. At times, like, I definitely should have, because I've had suicidal thoughts and things like that, and driven really fast on the freeway to get away from stress and everything. And
really?
Yeah. There's been times where I wanted to just pull the wheel and see what would happen if I, was going 110 down the freeway. Just very silly and dangerous, because there's people around you that, I could have accidentally hurt trying to fight feelings inside and hurt myself because I hated myself. And Mercedes, while we were dating, I even told her about it, and got to the point where I landed myself in UVU somehow by the grace of God. I met with this guy, I think his name was Kevin, and I'd been lying to myself for so long. Like, I wasn't working out. All I was doing was I had a 9 to 5 and also going to school full time, which it's hard. Like, I know a lot of people do it out there, and so that's why I thought I could do it, but it was not good for me at the time, which is why I'm so grateful for the Kreative Kiln, because it's allowed me to have more time, but also sometimes I feel like I don't have more time.
Yeah.
But I still have more. But anyways, so if you ever feel like, you're have pressure to exercise and things like that, just start out small before you find yourself driving down the freeway wanting to pull the wheel, and just not think about the consequences, because when your mind's that clouded and foggy and feelings are so deep, and like my hatred toward myself, I told you I beat myself up a lot. I used to do it a lot more even in depth. And like, there's people out there that want to help you, and I luckily got into that office of that guy, Kevin, who, kind of opened up my sights and seeing how, I shouldn't hate myself, and it's okay that I had those thoughts. Like, I guarantee a lot of people might have those thoughts, especially if they hate how their life's going.
Yeah.
And they start complaining about their own life, and and thinking dark thoughts of even killing yourself. And it's so sad because it all goes back, to this thing that I really believe is that what I love about art is it helps you express yourself, but also see that, or at least for me, I had self-worth. And at the time I wasn't throwing pottery when I was suicidal and stuff like that. So if you can't get in an exercising routine, start small, but also find something else that may overcompensate with your own opinion about yourself, like your self-worth. I don't have the sexiest body. I'm not like overweight or fat. I've got some nice little love handles. I call them dad. I don't even. I look a dad bod. Maybe not quite there, but yeah. I think that's what I try. I try and eat healthy. I try. I'm not there yet. I don't have a six-pack. I actually have a thing in my calendar that says, have a body like, I can't remember. I don't even know the name. It's in my calendar. I have like a month or so to get a six-pack, and it's not gonna happen, babe. I'm so sorry. But hey, we're making some money helping people feel good, on the pottery wheels. Like, life's good. It's okay. It's okay if you can't get a whole routine down yet, but keep working.
I'm a big believer in exercise. I really do believe that exercise is the best antidepressant.
Yeah.
Just getting that heartbeat up, maybe breaking a sweat, getting your body moving, I think it really does help with mental health.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us have some type of mental health issues because of social media and the advancement of technology now. And so I feel like a lot of people out there have depression, and my wife and I's doctor even, he's told both of us, because we both have like depressed thoughts and depression, and he said that exercise is the best, and that he even told Mercedes to exercise every day, like whether it's a lot or a little, like every day, 7 days a week. And like I always felt like growing up, my parents are very, very strict. Like they were the strict Mormons. The LDS family was very strict. There's no, it was letter of the law, not spirit of the law. And so this is so silly, but like it's almost like, you shouldn't work out on Sundays or things like that. But like, if a doctor's telling you this and it's going to be in your benefit, like, I don't know, this kind of sounds silly, but like, don't let that stop you. Like, do what you need to do. Like in Mercedes' heart, I know she's, she'll exercise as much as she can to fight that anxiety and depression. And, if the Joneses or, some next door are like, ooh, why, don't give an F about what other people think. And, I'm sure this isn't very applicable to people outside of Utah, maybe. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I think definitely in Utah, like, don't let what people think, like, scare you from trying new things.
Mm-hmm.
And, always hold on to your values, because if you just throw your values at, if you don't drink or smoke and, you decide, I'm going to try something different and go completely different from what you believe, or your values, what's called, then that'll cause you even more stress and depression. Yeah. So, but like, if you feel like you need to do something, like, do it, and then you'll find yourself.
It's a good point. Your wife's name is Mercedes, right? I have to say that name is awesome. That is a proper royal name. That's a cool name.
When I heard, so I was roommates with her twin brother who set us up. They don't look like each other. I told you that they don't look like each other at all, okay? Never feel like I'm kissing Talon. She's so pretty and so beautiful. And when I found out her name was Mercedes, I was like, of course. It had, like, it just instantly attracted me to her so much.
That's cool. Where do you see the Kreative Kiln? Am I saying that right? Kiln?
Kiln.
Kiln.
K-I-L-N.
Kiln. Where do you see your business in 5 years? So 2025. Wow, that's weird to say.
Yeah, that's crazy. At least, I'd hope 5 locations, and growing. I just want to get as many places out there and a good system process where people can come in and enjoy it, because it's something that's very enjoyable. If it's hectic, it doesn't work. So yeah, I hope at least 5 locations, and
So 1 location a year.
yeah, at least, yeah. I met with this business consultant guy at UVU. So there are perks to going to school. Just everything else sucks at school. Which is why I take a lot of online classes. Which, if you can do it, because you'd be silly not to, I think. But yeah, I had this business consultant guy that I got into. I can't remember how I got his name or anything, but I met with him. I have his card somewhere. But he gave me some of the greatest advice when it comes to a business, especially if you're worried about the risk. And if you have a proven concept, which they say are technically, like, our business is a proven concept in that we keep getting customers, we're growing in revenue, it's a good cause. Anyways, what you need to do is first prove it, which we've proven the concept. Then you have to refine it and almost experiment with it as if it is a legit business in the store, like In-N-Out. You think of it In-N-Out, that's a very legit business, and they've got the system down there executing 1,000 things a day perfectly, almost. I would say perfectly, but except for when the lines are so long. But maybe that's just because when we go, it's hot. I'm like, either I'm like starving, which is the case almost every time. Like, we are so hungry, we always go to In-N-Out because they're open late. And so I'll always look at my mom and be like, In-N-Out? Yes, so we watch or listen to Crime Junkie and eat In-N-Out. Yeah. But anyways, the business is, it's very solid in that my plan for the Kreative Kiln and why I signed my life away today to spend the next at least, maybe less, but at least, it's a 3-year lease, in this space of 1,900 square feet is so that I can experiment and solidify and even more so refine our business. Not only have a proven concept, but refine it in that when you have investors come to you, you have your shit together.
Yeah.
Like, you have all your ducks in a row. And it's a great experience for your customers. So you want to make sure that, people's pottery's not catching on fire. Before we get to 5 locations, we have to hit it out of the park with our first location. And then we can talk about more and that's essentially what this business consultant guy told me. So he said, look, you've proven your concept. You're in your dad's garage. You're blowing out of, you're growing like crazy in the garage, and you're already grown to the point where you can move into a big space. Now it's your time this year to crush it. Like, you have to get into that space, get your system down, refine everything to the point where it's almost like an In-N-Out or something like that was able to replicate itself. And until then, don't even think about growing to another location. You're going to take on so much more than you can handle, which, take that with a grain of salt. And also in that, when you're growing something, you do your own thing. Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. Like, I don't care what people say. Like, It's going to take longer than you think, even if you want to, because there's some businesses that just take off like crazy. But you'll know within the first year, and if your business is going to make it or not once you get into an actual space. You're covering overhead costs, business insurance, payroll, utilities. Like, I mean, those sound so basic, but when you're starting out and you're,
It adds up.
like, it adds up a ton. And that's not even taking into account all the advertising you do. Like, apart from the promotions on Instagram or like on the 2-for-1 app, the 2-for-1 app in Utah, we're on that. We're, it's so hard to keep track of where else we're spending money on marketing. I promise we're on more things. Yep, Facebook, Instagram, 2-for-1, Peak. So you have to pay for, we have like a software booking company. Before you have, the QuickBooks. I would recommend QuickBooks if you're starting a business and using Square with them. But there's just so many things that go into a business to where you have to nail it and then scale it.
Yeah.
Which there's a book on that, but.
That makes sense. Make sure the first product is completely refined and pure before you start mass producing it.
And it's a good thing too. Like, you don't want to try and run faster than you can because, I mean, everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to make a lot of money. If you say you don't want a lot of money, then good for you. Like, money is a tool, and it's great. I think everybody really does want more money, but there's a lot of work that you have to do to get to where you want. Whether it is, making millions or whether it's just making plenty to support a family. I think that's very admirable anyways. Like,
they say once you make $70,000, the more money you make a year will determine your happiness.
No.
Which is pretty interesting.
And I still almost don't understand that concept a ton, but growing a business, I always felt like, okay, once we hit like $10,000 in our bank account, like, I won't have any worries. That's a complete lie. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank. Like, at least for me, you probably won't be you'll never be satisfied. So don't base your happiness or stress levels on money, because it seems like the more money you have, the more stressful things get.
More money, more problems.
More money, more problems. That's right.
When you think about your business this year specifically, do you feel nervous, excited, scared? What emotion do you feel and why?
All the above. Everything you just named. It's like I was telling my real estate guy, JD Brisk. This guy is awesome. Talk about authentic. He's awesome. I want to be JD when I grow up. But anyways, he was like, I had him the sign, lease, the sign. I'm the guarantor of the thing. So, like, anyways, I'm responsible to make sure all the payments go in and everything. And so if I don't, they can come after everything I own, which
scary.
Luckily, it's not a lot. I don't
Joke's on them.
Joke's on them. No, they're the coolest guys over there. Their business is called Wildcat. Well, JD works for Colliers International, but anyways, I'm like handing him the signed lease and everything, and our security deposit, and he's like, "You sure you want to do this?" And just calmly and confidently, I was able to tell him, I am. I'm ready. And I was telling him, I was like, but you know what? Like, it was hard for me to sleep last night because I knew that I was signing the paper. But the thing was, it wasn't hard for me to sleep last night because of the papers. Like, I was completely calm about dedicating the next 3 years of, whatever happens, like, I need to pay these guys. Like, our monthly payments, it's going to be like a house payment, and if not more. And so, I that could potentially get a lot of stress. But what's helped is that I don't know what I was stressed about last night, or if I was stressed. My mind just couldn't calm down, I guess. I need to watch more pottery videos. But I kept thinking of other things because I knew that we had our ducks in a row in regards to the business. And so I wasn't really stressed about the business when it came to that. But it was more like just daily things like fighting my depression, or what I'm really nervous about, and even to this day, like right now, is am I going to be able to handle this last semester of college of 17. I know kids take like 20 credits. I think that's like the limit, but I've never taken 17 credits in one semester.
Wow.
And it's the last one. So I'm like, if I don't do it now, I'm not finishing. Like, there's no way. My wife's like, you're finishing. I'm like, okay, but after this, like, freedom. So yeah, I think, long story short, sorry, I keep going on these tangents, but wasn't super nervous about the business because we're not growing too fast to where we can't handle it. We're growing step by step. We've grown our business from less than 1,000 a month to during the holidays we made over 15,000.
Good for you. That's awesome.
But we didn't get there overnight, and it's not a lot, but it's enough to carry us into this next chapter. Next chapter of getting into an actual space. And then growing it from there, perfecting the process, and then getting other locations. Granted, everything works out wonderfully, which, there's going to be a lot of moments where, just like with school, I'm like,
stress.
But yeah, it's just step by step.
When do you move into your new location?
Anticipated February 1st. Trying to get in there real soon. It's a new building, so they're finishing everything up. So I'm hoping that we can be in there at least halfway through this month to start setting up, because then we can really start planning what we want to do for a grand opening, or open house day or whatever.
Let me know when you guys do that, because I'll try and get people there. I believe what you're doing. It's cool to see. It was really cool to go to your studio in the garage and just see, like, because I feel like an average person would say, oh, I can't do that yet, I don't have a studio, like, I don't have a place to do a business. But you're like, you know what, screw that.
Yeah.
Let's do it in a garage, and you like, it's working out for you guys. You're hustling, you're making good money, and now you're going to like a proper, like, legit location, which is even like cooler because your business is obviously growing. So I really respect you guys. I think it's awesome. Like, it's the American dream.
Thanks,
like,
man.
your business is legit growing. Like, Apple started in a garage.
That's what we always
Kreative
tell
Kiln.
people. And they just, of course, it's like, who can compete with Apple? Like, we say, Apple started in a garage. But yeah, it's amazing. It's great. Like I said, when, I got here and you're like, man, you look tired. I'm like, I am, but like, I'm so psyched to be here, and because I just love what I do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, on Sunday, I played a lot of Counter-Strike and watched movies. Like, that's all I did, while my wife, she had to do traffic school.
Oh, that sucks.
I kind of felt bad for her. But yeah, she's like, well, I'm doing traffic school and you're way distracted. So I'm like, I'm sorry. I'll go in the other room and catch up on movies, because I was I shouldn't say I'm deprived as a child as far as movies goes, but I was. I couldn't tell you. I know who Brad Pitt is, and Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, right? Tom Hanks.
Hanks, both.
See? Leonardo DiCaprio, he's like my favorite actor. Anyways, I know a
Jake
few.
Gyllenhaal, phenomenal.
Who?
Jake Gyllenhaal. There's a movie, check out Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
Fantastic. It's dark.
Okay. I'll have to check that out, because I don't know who that is.
Okay, yeah, I'll text it to you.
My wife's family's texted me because I have a list on my phone of notes where my dad-in-law, he's like, he's told me all these movies that I need to watch. So anyways, that's what I did. But
What were we saying?
I think
You're hustling right now. I think that was the main gist of it. Like,
yeah, we're very grateful to have the opportunity to move into this space and see what we can do. What I wanted to say was I meet a lot of people that have ideas and, they just don't know where to start. And I think a lot of podcasts about entrepreneurship or even books just talk about, like, you just need to start. It's easier said than done, like I've said a lot tonight. But we sacrifice not having, like, at least in our situation, we've had to sacrifice not moving out of our parents' basement. Which I've got friends who own multiple houses.
yeah.
Like, the amount of, you can only imagine, like, when you're doing this little pottery business in a neighborhood that's full of millionaires, like the pressure that you feel, and you kind of have to get over, like, and be okay with living in your parents' basement.
Swallow the pride.
You have to swallow your pride, and sometimes I'm a lot better at that than I am in other times, but and it's hard to not get jealous of friends who are moving into homes. Like, you're gonna have your time. I need to tell myself this all the time, because I I want a house, I want a dog, I want my own space, I want all these things, but you have to remember all that you do have and that you're sacrificing for. Like, it's still there, it's gonna be there. But if you have an idea, you want to test it out, just like we have some friends, I call them friends now, we just met them they were customers at our pottery business, and he was telling me, he's going to, like, med school, and they want to do this, it's kind of similar service business where you can take a date or whoever and learn how to do your own candles.
Cool.
Super cool. And it just seemed like people couldn't get like, they were struggling with the idea of how they could start without having a space. Now their situation is different, as we got talking, and how he's going to med school. Like, that's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of time. But his wife, wants to try this business, and it seems like he's stoked about it too. Because, I think it's a great idea. But they couldn't get over just, the starting of it. Like, where do I start? Do I even do this out of my kitchen? Like,
there's always gonna be things to not start. There's never a right time to make a business.
Like I said, Apple started in a garage. Like, if it's a garage, it's a kitchen. Like, Airbnb has been doing these cool things. They're called Airbnb experiences. They're pretty new.
Are you guys on that?
We are.
Nice.
That's the other marketing thing we do.
That's
okay,
dope,
there you
dude.
go. They take like 20%, and so.
But you get exposure.
But we get exposure, man. Like,
well done.
Just today, like, I had someone request something for tomorrow. Talk about hustling. We took off today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, so that we can prep for the move and things like that. And I had 2 people that reached out today, one from Airbnb and one just from our website, that wanted to do a date night lesson. So I was like, okay, can you guys, can you come at 9 a.m.? They can, so like, let's do it. So I opened it up for them. But yeah, Airbnb, they do these cool experiences where you can start, like, whether you host, your home, like a room or whatever, that's a cool new way to make money. But also, you can, like you could even start an Airbnb experience where people come and check out your podcast area, or
Or walk with me around the park.
Walk with me around the park. Show me Utah, or I don't even know. Like, and you're on their website. And if people, that are visiting, and you have a cool idea of, hey, candle making in my kitchen, or just cooking, learning how to cook authentic, I don't know what comes to my mind, because I'm pretty hungry and I love Indian food. You have been to the Bombay House down in Provo?
I've heard it's very good. I've never been there.
Oh, wow. Man, last time I went there was with Colton and Shay and, my wife, and I almost died because I filled my face with, like, 3 orders of naan bread, naan bread that you dip in. Anyways.
I've heard that stuff's phenomenal. I've heard nothing but good things about that naan bread.
If I had more time, it'd be kind of fun to put on Airbnb on how to make, Tyler's tacos. Because, if any of my companions for my mission are listening to this, there's one day where we were in this place called Lorca, and you can only just go out into the street and contact every single day. So I was like, let's be creative. Let's try something different. So I think it may have been on our P day, maybe not. We stayed in during lunch. We probably stayed there a little bit longer than we should have, but we decided to make 50 tacos.
Nice.
For these gypsies, the Gitanos. Because in Lorca, they have all these apartments on this hill right below the castle.
Oh, that's cool.
And their families have owned these apartments for, a long time. So they just pack them full of siblings and cousins. And so,
1 sec.
Yeah, you're fine.
Hey guys, we're back. Once again, the recording software stopped recording, but don't worry, I caught it early this time. Tyler was talking about gypsies living below a castle in Spain. Tyler, go on, dude.
Yeah, if that doesn't catch your attention.
We're back.
Yeah, we almost died while doing this too. Let's see. So we were making the tacos. My companion from California, Elder McConaughey, this dude's legit, just fearless, okay? He also helped me stop, we helped each other stop a ladrone,
robber?
Thief. Yeah, a robber in the street. Watched this old man, snatch this lady's, person bag out of her hand, almost tore her finger off. Anyways, we had some help with some guys from Morocco stop him, but it was sick. But anyways, he taught me how to make this really good pico de gallo, and I think, I kind of put my spin on it and stuff like that, and it was basic stuff, like tomatoes, onions, some green peppers, lemon. Yeah, we didn't use lime, we used lemon. And lemons in Spain are I don't know if you've ever eaten, one of the things that I do sometimes, which is kind of weird to other people, is, especially to my wife, she's like, what the heck are you doing? I split a lemon in half, and I pour salt on it, and then I suck on it, and I kind of eat it like that.
Oh my gosh.
I tried that in Spain, almost tore my teeth out of my face. The lemons are insanely, acidic. So, anyways, makes great for, good pico de gallo and stuff. We roll up all these tacos, 50 of them. It's 40 or 50. Not kidding you. In tin foil, and so they're warm. And we had rice, beans, pico de gallo. I think we had, I don't know if we had chicken or anything in them. But, and we made all these tortillas, and guys, Mexican tortillas are freaking expensive in Spain. So we spent a lot of money on this stupid meal. But it wasn't stupid because we put them in these bags, hauled them all the way up the mountain. At least, I don't even know, half a mile up this mountain. And we get up to the top, and all these gypsies, they're rough looking, poor people. They drink, and they steal to drink. They just do anything for food, for money, for anything. these people have no, like, very, they don't have any, like, fear. Yeah, like, embarrassment. There's things like that. So, we get up there, and this old guy's kind of scared us. He had a knife in his hand. And he wasn't, like, trying to rob us or anything, but we just started giving these people tacos just because we thought to. And kind of find out, we get into this old apartment because these kids are like, hey, come here, we've seen you before, like, come here. And they take us into, like, what's probably their great-great-great-great-grandma. And this old lady, she's sitting there, has a Book of Mormon, like, in her living room.
That's cool.
And then we give them more Book of Mormon, and then, like, we feed these people. And I don't know if any, like, gypsies, they're kind of crazy. They're really unique. They have a really unique culture. They're really fun, cool people, but they can be kind of dangerous sometimes. And, who knows what happened. But and I can't remember exactly why I was explaining this story, but we did all that in hopes so that, maybe when one of those kids grows up, or even when the older people, like, see missionaries again, like, they'll remember us, and when we just made them tacos. It's so simple.
Leave a good impression on the people.
Yeah, and so it's very important to always just try new things, be creative with whether you're a missionary or you're just, growing a business, or just in life in general. Like, this kind of reminds me of this very unique couple times where I had to get over my fear of failing or just putting myself out there, following my heart. One day, I'm going into work, hate my job, I'm a technical engineer, which is just a really nice way of saying you're a customer service representative, but you kind of do some technical stuff too.
Yeah.
So you're almost like just barely a step up above a customer service person. Anyways, and it's at Oracle, so it's a good company. It was a good job, but hated it. But anyways, I walk in, I'm going to school full time. I've got, like, I think it was a business calculus textbook, which is just huge, weighing me down, as it was anyways. Walking in, again, and I pass this office, and inside I just see these guys shooting a breeze around this conference table. And they all just look so successful, so happy, and alive. And here I am going to a job that I hate, and I hate that I'm in school. Like, we've kind of talked about how school can be very hard for people like us. I love learning, I love education, but when you're when you're in college and you're doing things that are pointless for the future that you want, it's really hard to be motivated to keep studying and things like that. But anyways, so here I am, going to this job I hate, don't like school that much. I get in the elevator after passing them. As I'm going up the elevator to, like, the 3rd or 4th floor, constantly in my head and my heart, I just keep hearing, go talk to them. Go talk to them. And I'm like, that's freaking crazy. Like, these guys are, they just barely moved into that space. Like, they're busy, they're successful, like, all of these excuses of why I shouldn't just go talk to them. I get up to the 4th floor, the 3rd floor, and the elevator doors open. I'm like, oh, shit, you're really going to do this, Tyler. You're going to do this. Telling myself, like, you're crazy. And then myself telling myself, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I know I need to do this, and I'm sick of not taking a chance and getting over fears. So I was like, I'm going to prove myself wrong. So I go down the elevator again to the 1st floor, take a few deep breaths. I don't even know what I'm gonna say, and all that I can come to my mind is like, just go ask them what they're doing, because in a sense, I kind of wanted to be like them or end up like them. So I open up the door. Lo and behold, it's Greg Butterfield. And I don't know if you guys know Greg
guy, right?
Butterfield. He was like the CEO of Vivint Solar for a minute. He basically now helps companies go public. So he's pretty big deal for...
It's a good job.
A guy, yeah. So
good perk.
I didn't know the guy. I didn't even know what he did. I think I had seen him on LinkedIn or something, or I worked for Vivint anyway, so somehow I kind of maybe saw him before, but I don't think I really knew who he was or what he did. I didn't know any of those guys around the table, and I walk in. I've got my business calculus book in my hand still, and I just walk in and I'm like, what are you guys up to? And they just look at me like, this kid lost? I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm trying to remember like what they said, because Greg Butterfield, you gotta know, like, this guy is high, like, he's not high. Are we good? Okay.
You're good.
Okay, we're so good. Greg Butterfield is basically, in our church we have bishops and stuff, and I'm pretty sure I know he was a bishop at one point. These guys just know when to be present, and normally, like, they're not going to waste your time with, some random kid or something, but he took a chance and on me and didn't just kind of like shoo me away. Yeah. He's like, well, what are you studying? What are you doing? And who are you? And so we kind of talked for a sec, and at first I think what he said, I think he asked like, what are you doing or something, or why'd you come in here? And I was just like, honestly, I have no idea. All I knew is I felt like I needed to walk straight in here and just ask you guys what you're doing, and I follow promptings in my heart, and I feel like when people see that, and I was this little college kid, halfway through college, pooping my pants in there, like they're gonna be sympathetic, empathetic, and also like. Well, hopefully he didn't do that, because it could be embarrassing, walking into someone, into someone's business and just asking, what are you doing here? That's kind of weird to do, but anyways, when people see you being authentic, they give you time. I think that's so true, because they're surrounded by people who are just not authentic, or... it's kind of like how you see true friends and who aren't people who are being true. If you're not true to yourself, and true, if you're not being yourself, then what else matters in this life? There's nothing else that matters, because eventually you're gonna get sick. One day you're gonna get sick of being someone who you're not.
Yeah, that's a great point. When earlier I asked you like, what does someone have to do to be your friend? And for me, like, one of the biggest, like, I consider the friends that I have in my life, they're real people. If I'm doing something that they think is stupid, they're gonna tell me, because they're real, like they're going to say, hey, don't do that, because they care about me and they're my friend. And one of my least favorite shows on TV is The Bachelor.
Really?
Oh gosh. Because back to what you just said. None of that's real. But yeah, we just soak it up, and it's just...
Oh, we love the drama.
It's awful. But like, it's not... None of it's real, so that's a great example of what isn't real.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to have real human relationships, then be authentic, like you just said.
Yeah, there's a lot of... Yeah, that's so true. All those people, like a lot of them,
They don't care about the guy or the girl. They just care about getting their name out there and becoming an influencer.
Yeah.
They want the attention. They don't care about the premise of the show. And I don't know. I really struggle with. That's why I want social media, because I feel like a lot of it isn't real.
Yeah, it's just everyone's just posting highlights. I'm not gonna post like the day that I'm about to drive my car off the road and just almost drove my car off the road, feeling very depressed and suicidal right now. Like, that's just, I don't feel like that's gonna happen, and it'd be extremely hard to do, even though that's how I'm feeling. My life's not like I got videos of me jumping in the air on my dirt bike and throwing pottery. Well, I've posted a few videos of when my piece of pottery I'm throwing just completely collapses. Just to let people know, like, also, like, even if you're having a bad day, like, keep your head up, even though that day I did not want to keep my head up.
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't. Like, it was, some days you really have hard days, but I feel like, social media, it's just all about good days.
Yeah.
Which no one has.
What can I do and the listeners do to help your business grow?
I think one of the main, I always focus on Instagram, following us, posting about us, sharing, coming and doing a lesson and then posting about it.
What are your rates for your lessons and stuff like that?
Yeah, for the date night lesson on weekdays, it's $40 per person, and that includes the lesson, the clay. You pick what color you want on it. We glaze it for you, so the firings and everything, it's all included. But I think, and then you can do open studio, which is $15 an hour if you just want to throw without a lesson, and we include a pound of clay and stuff. But I think to support my business, but also any of your friends that have businesses that they're trying to grow, small or big, like tagging people, like to even if you didn't want to come spend, like if you're, if you don't have $80 to spend on a date night 1 month or whatever, or if that's not like super realistic, then a good way to promote someone's business, I saw a post on social media, my wife I think shared it on her story a while back. A good way to support a good friend or just anybody with their small business is tagging your friends, liking their picture, sharing posts about them, which I know, not a lot of people are comfortable posting about, businesses or things that they want to post about, things like that. But even just tagging a friend in comments and sharing our videos, I think our videos help keep followers and stuff like that, because hopefully it helps them, and it's cool. It's cool to watch.
Yeah, they are very cool.
Yeah, so I think just simple things like that.
Okay, we'll do that for you guys.
Or come by, share with your family, bring the whole family down.
Trust me, we're gonna try and get a lot of people down there. I wanna, once your studio's set up, I'm sure we'll put it on Instagram. I wanna get a group down there.
I wanted to mention, so follow our social media, because as soon as we find out when we can start moving things into the space, we already have started planning like a grand opening, and one of my really he's a really good friend. His name's Bragan. He dated my little sister before she went on her mission. This kid's a stud. Like, we were just talking right before he started a gourmet hot chocolate trailer. He's killing it. It's called Cocoa.
Awesome.
Like COA, I think. And we're gonna have gourmet hot chocolate for everybody that comes. So I have his trailer out there, and we're gonna pay for all the hot chocolate. So follow us on Instagram so you know when we're moving in, and I'm hoping to have the opening day that Saturday, February 1st. And just come get some free, gourmet hot chocolate and come check out the studio. And we're going to have the wheels spinning. So if you want to do the wheels, like we're just going to let people jump on the wheels and make some stuff with a pound of clay and stuff like that.
I'll post it on the podcast Instagram page. Might have to end the show now.
Probably time to go.
It's been a good conversation.
Yeah, it has been. I'm sorry I probably kept you so much longer.
For tradition, we always end the show with the gumballs, by eating gumballs. But before, is there any other social media you want to promote? Anything else?
Yeah, just besides, the Potted Pansy, huge supporter of ours. She's a sweetheart. We love her so much, and she does a lot for us and for Mercedes too. And yeah, go follow Coco, like that the gourmet hot chocolate trailer. They're killing. Like they're doing a lot of good too. They're donating a lot. They're going down to Mexico, to help like build houses and they're taking their own time to go down there too and stuff. I saw on one of their posts, and they've been doing a lot of charitable stuff. So it's not only really good hot chocolate, but they're doing some really good things in the world. So I think, yeah, just those. And one more, you guys. My friend Daniel Johnson, he just came out with, he's starting his nutrition bar, like energy bar company. It's called Narbar. Narbar.
Dude, I want to get him on the show. Will you talk to him?
Okay, I will. He's got to. Yeah. Narbar, okay? You got to go check it out. He's got the ingredients down where they're freaking good. So anyways, yeah. Just that.
Alrighty, well, Tyler, thank you for coming on the show. It sounds like you're surrounded by a lot of good people, family, friends, your wife. I'm rooting for you guys. I think it's an awesome business.
Thanks, man.
We'll be back. I'll get people out there for the grand opening. I think Amy and I will be there for sure.
Yeah.
I'll also put it on my social media too.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for having me on here. Seriously, stoked. Been a dream.
I'm glad you came on the show.
I'm gonna have to get an Uber to go. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
White, the color white. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for listening.
Do I eat both of these?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Both yours. Thanks for listening, guys. Please rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Please do that. It really does help the show grow and help people find the show. It would also mean a lot if you guys did that. Also, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Thanks, guys.
Go to the Kreative Kiln. They're awesome, and it's
with a K.
Ciao, ciao. Peace.
See ya.